America is journalism, a tough and sensitive look at Americans. CNN is the only news organization able to take on a story this big across so many platforms. We have so many stories to tell. It's a story of America.
Soledad, this was an amazing presentation with such a beautiful message. So please tell us about it.
Thank you very much. You know, I love the story of Marlene Esparza, not just because she's a five-time national champion in boxing, but because to me the story wasn't really about boxing. It was about a person who perseveres to get to her dream. I was reading an airline magazine, and I saw the story about boxing in the Olympics in 2012 in London. But when I opened it up, it was all pictures of Latinas, and I had no idea that there were so many Latinas who were boxers. So we started researching it, and Marlene Esparza's name was the one that kept coming up, and we went to her and said, we want to do a documentary on what you're doing. And we were able to get her to agree, and we spent about a year following her and telling her story, and her story was remarkable. She's a real living embodiment, I think, of somebody who is so dedicated to what she's doing that she's willing to sacrifice everything to be successful.
And what's like the main message you want to pass with this documentary?
You know, every time Marlene and I do a screening, I always get up and say, this is not a documentary about boxing. Mm-hmm. Even though it's all about boxing, it really is about who supports you. It's about who's behind you. It's about what makes you successful. Marlene is a young woman who is incredibly dedicated and hardworking and focused, but she also has all these people in her corner who, her father, her mother, her siblings, her community, her coach, who expect a lot from her and who push her and support her. It's why we called it In Her Corner, the name of the documentary, Latino in America 2, In Her Corner. So to me, you know, it's not a boxing doc. It's a doc about a young woman, a Latina, becoming successful and avoiding a lot of the pitfalls that happen to young Latinas. She's able to work around them because she's got a lot of people supporting her.
And how do you think this documentary is going to impact and really inspire all Latinos living in America?
You know, we did a screening today at Jefferson Davis High School, and it was the craziest thing. The students all had these flags, and as Marlene walked in, they were all saying, USA, USA, and they're all wearing purple, and they have purple flags. It was the craziest thing, and it was amazing, and it really, I think, they sat through the documentary, riveted, and I knew that if that was possible, then the message for them is the greatest, which is, you know, Marlene can be very inspiring. Her message and her story is inspiring, and so I hope that a lot of students really will see. And what she says at the end of the documentary, right? She says, you know, some other girls are better than me, they just don't know it. You know, and I hope that it's a message that really can get out to a lot of people, because I think it's an important one that she brings. It's really her message.
Because I also heard her message is also she's, as you say, humble and pride at the same time.
Absolutely.
Such beautiful qualities.
Absolutely. I mean, she didn't want to do the documentary. She said, I'm boring. There's no story there. I mean, she really is a very naturally humble person, but in the ring, of course, she wants to win. Latino culture is American culture. You know, the demographics are changing. The Latino market is the general market. The numbers have shifted. Yeah. So I think that it's less about promoting, for me, less about promoting Latino culture and more about saying America is made up of a myriad of really interesting stories. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. Let's share them. And what you'll be surprised at is that a lot of the stories are very similar in different cultures. You know, resilience is a story that's universal. It's not just for Latinos, and then you can't be inspired. You don't have to be inspired just by Latinos. Anybody can be inspired by Marlene Esparza. So to me, it is my goal is to just tell undertold stories, to spend a lot of time finding great stories and great characters and bringing those to the screen.
Thank you so much, Soledad. It was an amazing documentary. Please carry on with that wonderful job you are doing, and thank you so much.
Thank you. CNN's In America is in-depth investigative reporting on the stories of America in all its diversity.
We are here as one people, and what affects one group of people affects us all.